Hey y'all, Ned over at My Philippine Dreams, running solo because Michelle is down in Darwin having a outing with some of her former employee friends. They're still her friends, but they're no longer her fellow employees. She's back on her day schedule and she's trying to get used to being a day walker. I just want to do a quick video because part of this whole channel, part of what we're doing here is supposed to be relating my experiences or our experiences as we stumble through our life here in the Philippines, or as we stumble through life in general. And one of the things that I want to address, some people have been asking me about steroids. Yes, I've gained some weight over the past 90 days, 2 to 3 months, and people have been asking me if I'm on steroids. Full disclosure, actually a disclaimer first, I am not a doctor. Everything you're gonna hear here is basically just my subjective take on the subject, followed up by some objective testing results. I did take, in full disclosure, I did take steroids back in 1987, I believe. I did a 3-month cycle of testosterone. And then again in 2004, I did a 4-month cycle of pro-hormones. The steroids, as everybody knows, are incredibly powerful. You get really big really fast. And it's actually really easy to tell if someone's on steroids just by looking at them. It's just think of like Lex Luger or John Cena or people that are able to carry around that level of muscle mass. I've been having issues with fatigue over the past 6 months, 6 to 9 months. I haven't been feeling well. I've been having a depressed affect. I just haven't felt myself. I've been tired all the time. It's hard to stay focused and get things done. So I thought maybe I was having some problems with my testosterone level. So I went to get it tested about 3 months ago, about 90 days ago. You can get it tested at Silliman University here for 1,500 pesos. And I found out that my testosterone level was 410, which was pretty low for my age. I'm 48, almost 49 years old. It's a little low. So I talked to my doctor, and we talked about some possible therapies. And one of the things that he recommended was clomiphene citrate. And clomiphene citrate is basically Clomid. Clomid you can actually buy over the counter in the Philippines without a prescription. And it's a female fertility drug. It increases ovulation rates or something for trying to have a baby. In men, it has a counter effect, whereas it increases testosterone levels and suppresses estrogen levels. Usually when people are at the end of a steroid cycle or a heavy-duty pro-hormone cycle, they'll do PCT, post-cycle therapy, and they'll either use Clomid or they'll use Nolvadex. Again, Clomid is generic, so the price is pretty cheap. My doctor put me on 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I take 25 milligrams of Clomid, and I started taking it about 90 days ago. So it comes out, price-wise, it's very reasonable. It's only 600 pesos a month because you're only taking 12 pills. Actually taking 6 pills and you're cutting them in half. You're getting the 50 milligram pills of clomiphene citrate. Clomiphene citrate, because female fertility drugs are cool. And you basically cut it in half and you just take them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's 6 pills, 600, they're 100 pesos each, so that's 600 pesos. Since I've been on it, the first thing I noticed was increased energy levels, that fatigue started to taper and diminish. I started feeling better. And that was basically the main reason that I went on it. Subjectively also, I noticed that I was gaining weight, I was losing some body fat, and I was gaining some muscle mass, and my lifts were going up in the gym. So I knew something was happening, but I wanted to wait 90 days to get my blood testing done to see if it was actually having an effect or if it was a placebo effect or whatever it was. So subjectively, I was feeling better, I was more focused, I was able to work longer. I was just that general malaise that I was experiencing pretty much slowly lifted. That was the first thing I noticed. Then all my lifts started increasing pretty quick. As far as gaining muscle mass and strength in the gym, it's not as strong as steroids, obviously, and it's not as strong as pro-hormones. Those are like introducing external testosterone into your body. That's like a testosterone replacement therapy, and what happens is your own body's production of testosterone shuts down. When you're taking Clomid and when you're taking Nolvadex, it's actually increasing your body's production of testosterone. So it's more of a natural effect, even though you're taking the medication. So after 90 days, this past week, I finally went back to Silliman University and I got my blood testing done. And it went from 410 to 841. which is a pretty significant increase. So those are the objective results, the blood testing that was done. Subjectively, again, I'm feeling better, feeling less fatigued, having a little bit more energy, and it's been a good experience. I've actually heard that you can cut it down to even less 3 times a week, going from 25 milligrams to 12.5. So I might try doing that. But I'm probably going to continue with it under doctor's supervision because I'm personally getting good results from it. If you do research online, you'll see that people have mixed results with it. Some people respond really favorably to it. And what's interesting to note is Clomid is actually going to be marketed. There's a U.S. company called Repros Pharmaceuticals that is working on getting FDA approval. It's in the final stages, getting FDA approval for a drug they're calling androxanol or something. And basically what it is they took Clomid, which is generic, so they can't really trademark it and make lots of money. They changed the molecular structure just a little bit, and they're going to be offering that for sale in the United States under prescription, of course, as opposed to all the testosterone replacement therapies that are going on, like the gels and the injections and all that stuff. Again, my personal experience, and this is just my personal experience, has been very favorable with Clomid, clomiphene citrate. Again, do your research. I don't recommend people go out and buy this stuff because you can buy it over the counter in the Philippines, but get your testing done, talk to your doctor, and see if it's appropriate for you. Side effects, some people noted some blurred vision on it. I haven't noticed any side effects at all, and it's been pretty positive. So that might explain why I've gained, I think it was like 9 or 10 pounds I've gained in the last 90 days. Most of it muscle mass. I've always worked out. I've always been kind of big. But a lot of it is fat, actually. I have this insulative layer of protective body fat that I carry around with me just in case it gets cold sometimes. And that helps out. I don't really pay a lot of attention to my diet because it's just too much of a pain in the ass. But as I'm getting older, I'm noticing my metabolism is slowing down, so I'm going to have to start eating a little bit better, otherwise I'm going to be that fat old guy. Okay, so, not on steroids. I'm taking female fertility drugs. It's working for me. Disclaimer again, I am not a doctor. I am just I'm relating my personal experience with it. So that's about it. If you have any experience with this stuff yourself, leave it in the comments section. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe if you like the channel. This is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams. Tomorrow, we're putting up our October budget, our expenses. The short version is $7.94. So now that you know that, you don't have to watch tomorrow's video. This is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams. Take care.